Hey everybody, got some awesome news. We have a new crew member today, Denise.
Hi everyone.
So I thought it'd be fun if we all went around and said our name and a little something about ourselves. I'll start. My name is Rod, and I like to party. All right, Dave, you're up.
Hi, my name is Dave, and I like to party.
No, Dave, I just said that I party, so maybe do something different for me.
My name is Dave, and I am the stuntman.
You know what? Let's move on. Rico, you're up.
Hello, I'm Rico, and I like to party.
Yeah, Rico, what did I just say to Dave?
Who?
Dave.
I like to party. I'm Rod.
No, you're Kevin.
Right. Kevin. I party.
No, you don't. Okay, nobody parties but me.
Yes, and we party.
No.
Yeah, just Rod.
Yes.
And me.
No, I'm the only one who parties.
I'm pretty sure I've partied before.
No, Kevin, I know for a fact you don't party, okay? You do not party.
You're right. Dave's the party guy.
Sweet.
Oh my God, shut up, okay? I'm just gonna do it for you. Denise, this is the crew. Dave's the mechanic, Rico makes the ramps, and Kevin is team manager / videographer. None of them party, right? Got it? Okay. Let's party.
Here I have the data input that we know entered into Excel already. Across the first row, I've placed the following as headers: name and present status. Those are going to act as our data input. Party ? Is going to be our data output, and logic and sublogic is where I'm going to be building out the formulas for this example. Going down the rows, you can see that I've entered Rod, Rico, Dave, and Kevin as well. I also want to format the output data into a readable format. We're going to do an if statement for all the rows in the party column, column B. I just need a basic if function to check the true or false status of the other logic. To do this, I'm going to type =, if, parenthesis, and then create a logical test. And so it's going to look over here and say, hey, if D2 equals true, then parentheses, or quotation marks, party, comma, and this is our false statement now. We're going to do quotation mark, space, quotation mark. This will allow the party cell to be blank when there's no need to have it. We're going to do a trick here, and I'm going to show you how you can see the formulas at all times within Excel. We're going to go to the Formulas tab, and we're going to say Show Formulas. This will make it easier as we're programming this out a little bit. Now we're going to click here in this cell, and we're going to click down here in this corner, and we're going to drag this down. This copies the formulas down, but if you notice, the reference cell moves with the formulas. This makes it easier to place functions across multiple data entries within Excel. Let's start doing some programming. I want to start with Rod's programming because his will be the simplest to do. In the cell D2, which is Rod's logic cell, we're going to set the following: equals, if, then we're going to select cell C2, which is Rod's present input. We're going to say this must be equal to yes. And if it's equal to yes, then the value is true. And if it's anything other than yes, then the value is false. So if we go back to show formulas, right now we can see it says false because there is no data within the present cell. Click this drop down though, and we say yes. Now the logic is true, and it says Rod can party. We need to program Dave differently. We're going to say that the times Dave can party is whenever Rod is present, or when Dave is not present. He's out partying because Dave is a party guy. To do this, we're going to use an OR function. Selecting Dave's logic cell, which is D4, enter the following: equals, or, parentheses. Now we have to do our first logical statement. So is Rod present? And we're going to say no. So the first thing it's going to check for is if Rod is present. And it's looking for that Rod is not present. The true statement will be is if Rod is not present. The other statement it needs to look for is if Dave is present or not. We're going to say C4 equals no. And the reason why we're also going with no is because when Dave is not present, Dave's out partying. We close that, and we can test it. So when they're both yes, this comes back false, which will be Dave does not party. When Rod leaves and is not present, Rod's logic comes back as false, but Dave's logic comes back as true. Furthermore, when Rod is present, but Dave isn't, Dave is out partying as well. For Rico, we're going to say that when Rod is around, Rico parties. But Rico only parties with Dave. To do this, we are going to have to check both Rod's present input data and Rico's present input data. This is where we're going to use the sublogic cell to build out a nested if statement. Nesting if statements allow to give the program more options to proceed. First, let's check if Dave is present. To do this, in Dave's sublogic cell, we're going to say equals if, because it's an if statement, and we're going to check if Dave is present. So we're going to say Dave, under the present column, equals yes, then true. Else, it's going to be false. So now if we come over to Dave, we hit yes, we can say that's true. Say no, we can say that's false. We also see that Dave's party, because he is not present, and Rod is present. Now, in Rico's logic cell, we're going to check if Rod is present. We are checking Rod's present input on the outside of the nested if statement because the order of operations matter. We want Rod's presence to be the ultimate determination if Rico can party. To do this, we are going to create another if statement, and we want the output to be false if Rod is present. So we're going to compare the true statement to yes. So within D3, we're going to type equals if Rod is present equals yes, then we want to say false. Else, we want it to say true. Now that we have both cells filled out, we can test. We can see that now when both cells are filled out, we can test. We see that Rod is present, then the logic says false, which is what we want and which is what we expected. The sublogic also shows false, and again, that is expected because Dave is also not present. Let's change the input and see if the output changes as well. It seems to be functioning correctly, so let's keep moving on. We're going to go back into formula mode by going up to the formula tab here and clicking show formulas. This is going to make it easier for us to nest. What we want to do is we want to take the sublogic routine here, this if statement, we're going to select it except for this first equal sign, and we're going to copy it over here. And what we want is that when the if statement comes back false here, we put in more parentheses and we can nest this statement right into it. Hit enter and uncheck show formulas. We should be able to delete this. And now when we see that Rod is not present and Rico is not present and Dave is present, Dave can party. That's not correct. For testing, we want to remember our rules. We don't want Dave to, or we don't want Rico to party. For testing, we need to remember our rules. We don't want Rico to party when Rod is around, and we only want Rico to party when Dave is around. So right now, when Rod is around, Rico does not party. When Dave is around and Rod is not around, Rico's partying. And then when Rod shows up, neither of them party. So this is correct. Finally, for Kevin, we are going to use the AND function. Kevin can only party when no one else is around. So, for Kevin, we need to check if Rod, Dave, Rico, and Kevin are present. In Kevin's logic cell, enter the following: equals, and then we're going to select this range of, and we're going to say that these all have to equal no. Furthermore, when we put this comma in, we're saying we want to look for another value. We're going to go to C5. We're going to want to say this yes. I'm going to close that, hit enter, hit yes, hit no, and Kevin can party when no one else is around. We're going to do some basic dynamic formatting so that I can show you how the cells can change automatically. So let's first select all of the party cells here. Let's go to the Home tab, Conditional Formatting, New Rule. Format cells that only contain, and we're going to compare the cell value, and we're going to set the cell value equal to party. Formatting, we're just going to go in here and we're going to say that we want the fill to be this yellow color. That'll work. We hit OK. So now, anytime that the cell contains the string party, it will turn yellow. So let's go ahead and we're going to say Rod's here. It comes back as Rod can party. Let's say if Rico's present, and Dave is present, and Rod's not present. These two can party. Finally, Dave and Kevin both party when Dave's not around and when Kevin is around. Another thing that we can do is we can set dynamic formatting to be multiple different things for different kind of data within a cell. So again, go to the conditional formatting button, and we're going to say new rule. We're going to say format only cells that contain cell value is equal to no format. We're going to give that a red background. And then if we come back here in conditional format again, new rules, and we're going to do the same exact thing. But we're going to say that we want it equal to yes, and we're going to format it to green. There we go. The other thing is if you want to hide logic like this, you can right click on the column's letters up here, and you can go to hide. And now nobody can see them. So let's go ahead and play this through. Yes, yes, yes. This is what we expect. No, no. This is what we expect. This is what we expect. And this is what we expect. Cool, that's it. We're done.